Give me a cooker. Damn it! I can't dip my cookie in my tea because my glass is too tall. Nom, nom, nom. Salutations, and welcome back to Do Chat Day today. Very exciting day. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but when we're recording this video, 0.21 patch just dropped, and with that came the new passive. And oh boy, are there some spicy combos with abilities, so definitely going to be a factor when we're looking at some of these abilities. Anyway, let's jump on right into it. So, first ability going on our tier list will be Blink. Very strong movement ability. Colton, what's your thoughts on Blink?
High A tier, low S tier. I feel like.
I feel like it's. I don't feel like it's S tier. Simply because I don't know, because it might be S tier just because of how versatile it is. Because it has low cooldown, has super high range, has a great infusion track.
It's Seeker.
It's Seeker, which is also a bonus. It's a great banner. So yeah, we'll put it in A tier for now. Actually, we'll put it in S tier for now, and we'll see how the rest of the abilities fall in. Okay. Catalytic heal. So, we should probably describe what these do. So, blink is just like you just blink. So you blink you TP from one location to another. Healing, the catalytic heal is, you heal yourself and your teammates around you in a radius. It's very, very strong ability for a couple reasons. Number one, it gives the highest health in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives the highest base health. Yeah. You have any ability, it gives the highest base health of any ability. Number two, its healing is just insane. It's just high. I mean, that's really those are the only two reasons. But I mean, yeah, I think it's probably S tier, just because it's so good in so many builds.
Yeah, easy S tier.
It's really good at supporting your team. It has an insane infusion track. Its healing becomes just crazy. Okay, catalytic heal. Okay, so this ability is less versatile simply because you can't like clutch save your whole team with it,
and it doesn't give as much health.
Doesn't give as much health. It still gives a lot of health. Second highest, I think, in the game. But yeah, I think A tier is probably good. So this is Catalytic Renewal that we just put. And Catalytic Renewal is the same as Catalytic Heal, except it heals intermittently over time. So when you activate it, I believe it lasts for like 6 seconds. Yeah, it lasts for 5 seconds, and it heals 560 per second. So in total, it heals more than Catalytic Heal, but yeah. Okay, Frost Bomb.
Frost Bomb.
Frost Bomb is a bomb that's frosty. You throw it, and it lands, and it slows people in the area.
I think Frost Bomb is A tier. I think it's really good.
I agree.
Like, it's slow at high infusions, and eventually becomes like basically roots you in place.
It's one of the higher health giving.
Its range is not insane like Grounding Bolt used to have, but it's
AoE. But okay, so it's listed range. Its listed range.
I'm not sure. That's not true.
Oh, its listed range is 13.
Yeah, the auto aim thing. Yeah. It doesn't.
Okay, I think it fixed the auto aim.
But anyway, yeah, the Frost Bomb's really good.
It also does it does good damage.
Yeah, it does good damage. It gives you a good amount of health.
Very low cooldown.
Yeah, super
8-second cooldown. Yeah, really good. I think that's probably fair. Okay, so
Frost Nova, kind of similar ability.
So Frost Nova is radiate a pulse of frost, damaging and slowing enemies nearby. So you activate it, and basically you do a big fart, and it farts away from you, and it slows people that it hits.
It does good damage. It has a low cooldown.
Yeah, it does 800.
I mean, it's basically better than Frost Bomb. The only issue is its range is not as good.
You can't
aim it or throw it out.
The issue is you can't use it to, like, if you're using a sniper build, you can't use it to slow people to make it easier to hit them.
It's more of a protective
unless they're running at you. But where Frost Bomb can do that, but
it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And pretty fun to use, and its sniper passive.
Its infusion perk is also really good because it. Oh, never mind. It's not nearly as good as Frost Bombs because Frost Bombs increases the slow, but it only increases the effect duration. So yeah, it's not. But it does slow for more, I think.
Yeah. Harbinger. Harbinger is pretty fun to use.
Harbinger used to be like F.
Yeah, it used to be F tier. Now it's pretty fun to use. It's pretty like.
Yeah.
Cool.
What Harbinger does is when you activate it, basically you get increased health max and increased speed for 15 seconds, and its cooldown is 25 seconds. And it's Primal Hunter, so it's meant for like beefing up and being able to like punch Primal.
Yeah,
with, like, half
it doesn't
gauntlet.
really work especially well for fighting Primals.
Yeah,
it's just kind of the main thing it's good for is making you go faster.
Yes.
Because it's the only like sprint type ability. So it can be pretty fun, but it's the issue is it's Primal Hunter banner, which isn't that good.
And its cooldown is still long. But
its cooldown is still long.
Try to try it out with the Aleph null, perhaps. Okay.
With the healing totem. So healing totem, it's just, there are lots of different totems. Healing totem heals you. As far as healing, it is the most healing per second in the game overall.
Because... okay, sorry.
So healing totem is going to heal you a little over 300 per second, depending on your level. And if you calculate out either burst heal, which would be about 120 per second, and renewal, which would be like 180 per second, this is calculating in, this isn't actually what its healing per second will be listed as, but this is calculating in the cooldown, because cooldown, this can be up 100% of the time. This has a cooldown, so overall this is the highest healing in the game. But since you have to stay in one spot, and because the healing is actually pretty slow in that brief period, these are much more useful in a fight to get you back up to full, whereas this is like, it can be useful for healing objectives or healing like someone who just wants to stand in one place like a chain gunner, but otherwise like it's not that good.
Yeah.
All right, power infusion.
So I think power infusion's B tier, A tier.
I feel like it's gotta be A tier.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I think it's A tier. I was thinking of old power infusion, but yeah, more recently it's gotten a lot better. It gives alright amount of health. Its cooldown is 25 seconds, which is very long. So what power infusion does is when you activate it, it removes the ammo consumption and increases the damage of your primary weapon. So basically you have infinite bullets while you're shooting it, and you deal bonus damage, like 13% around that. And its duration is 12 seconds. And the thing is, from the time you activate it, its duration, its cooldown starts going down. So effectively you only have like 12 seconds of downtime if you're not using any...
It's basically up half of the time. It's the only way to like ability that really increases your primary's damage. It's the only thing that like increases your primary's damage in any meaningful way besides the damage totem, which kind of roots you in place. Still a good ability. But I think Harbinger, the main reason it's good is because it has, power infusion is good because it has a couple synergies with guns with extremely small clip sizes. That's where it's best. So you're not going to want to use it with a chain gun or anything that has a big clip or reloads super quickly, because you're only going to get that damage bonus value and not really the benefit of the infinite clip, which is kind of the main point of the ability.
Yeah.
So the best guns to use it for are the Caudifusion Constant, which is the dual pistols, either SMG, though obviously the new Aleph Null is much stronger than the other SMG, the Wraith. But I mean, if you're using the Wraith, it's a good item with it if you want to. Not that the Wraith is great. You can use it, I mean, there are a couple of different, you can use it with the Rush, is pretty good, even though the Rush has a super short reload. It has a very small clip and can unload it quickly, and then the power infusion can give it more damage, which is always good with the Rush. So there's a couple items you can use it for, and overall, like, it's pretty good. But it's overshadowed, I think, by some of the other abilities.
Well, yeah, with the only 12 seconds of downtime, you can effectively have it, like, a lot of the time you don't really need infinite ammo, so I feel like you can have it up for whenever you need it. But yeah, no, pretty solid ability. Next, Primal Fire. So I have mixed opinions on Primal Fire because I don't think it's that good, but I really haven't used it at all. And I've heard people say that it just like melts bosses and stuff, because how Primal Fire works is it's Primal Hunter, it gives decent health, cooldown 10 seconds, and it has 2 charges. You shoot out a bolt of fire, and it deals an initial damage, which is like 300 to 400, so pretty low. And then it burns them for 5% of their health per second. So the max damage per second is 2,500, because they put like a cap so that it doesn't just like burst down the Overseer. But yeah, people say it's really good. I don't really use it. I don't have very strong opinions on it. I don't think it's that good, but people like it, so I feel like we can put it in like B tier. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. People say that it's like insane.
I've messed with using it. I don't like it a whole lot. But I don't have mine at super high investment, so it might improve a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have mine infused at all either.
And that's something to keep in mind. Some items at various levels are better at different levels of investment, which we can talk about a little bit later when we get to, I'm going to move this up so we can talk about it. Certain items are much better early on in the game versus later once everyone has kind of maxed out stuff. But overall, yeah, I think Primal Fire is pretty good. I mean, it does damage, so it's never not going to help you. It's not going to be useless. So it's a fine item overall, especially if you want to hunt down primals.
It's very good at killing primals because it deals 5% of their health per second.
But that's about all. I mean,
yeah,
I definitely don't think it's an S or A tier because these items kind of synergize with whatever build you're using in a big way and allow you to do stuff you can't really do otherwise. And this is just sort of an additional like gun on your kit.
This is true. Okay, so
Stasis is another like kind of funny ability, pretty similar to Harbinger. It's gonna make you invincible, but also root you in place and prevent you from doing anything else besides standing there. You can deactivate it at any time, but obviously enemies, you're just gonna be standing still. There are a couple uses for it. It can be useful for helping to take objectives. It can be useful for kind of blocking for your team. It can be pretty fun to run out in front at a bunch of enemies and then right before you die activate it, and it sort of draws their attention. But in general, like if you're just trying to like go and like destroy a bunch of people and I don't know, do things, unless you're trying to do something specific, unless you have a specific plan in mind for how to use it with your build and your team, it's not that good. And even then, it's only like, oh, that's pretty decent.
Well, yeah, because like the best way I've found to use it is to like, so its duration is 9 seconds at my level, and I have some infusion perks, so it's a little longer than that. But in my opinion, it's only really like viable when you're coordinated with your team and you're like in voice chat or whatever, and you're being like a wall that enemies can't shoot through but your team can, and you can kind of help your team like push up. But other than that, in my opinion, it's basically like F tier, because it's really hard to use well on your own.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple situations it can be good in, but I agree.
There's another problem where when you're rooted, you can't help at all. So even if you're helping, I don't know, like you can't do anything. Like with Catalytic heal, you can heal your team, heal yourself, and keep fighting. But when you're using, I don't know, and you can't hold outposts anymore. Like, while you have it active, it's as if you're not on a base. But yeah,
leap attack.
Okay,
what do you think?
I think leap attack's B tier.
I think. Well, here's the thing. I think if you're pretty new to the game, and you're just sort of putting together some builds with a couple different items, leap attack can feel pretty good. You'd be like, why are you putting it so low? This item feels great. But the problem is, in comparison to the other movement abilities, it starts to become really bad at high levels where players are getting stronger, faster, and dealing damage more quickly. To the point where you can still take damage while mid-air. So against skilled players, you're often going to you might get sniped while mid-air and you land on them with 2 HP before you even, or whatever. So I mean, it's pretty cool. It's Vanguard if you like really want a Vanguard move.
And it does a lot of damage if you hit them, which is relatively hard to do. But if you hit them, it gives you a good advantage.
But overall, it's like a pretty awkward ability to use, and it gets outclassed. It gets outscaled by really high investment other stuff, because you can start to level up some of these other items. And they get way stronger, and it doesn't necessarily get way stronger as players get tankier and faster and deal more damage. It starts to feel worse and worse. But early on, it's definitely useful, and you can use it. I would put it C. I would honestly put it like C tier. If you're thinking at like a super high level, like Eventide game, compared to all these items, like it's gonna have like less of an impact, especially in a team fight. It like doesn't do anything. It's hard to even escape with it. But in general, because it's useful for, I think, the majority of players who aren't super high level and are playing Slayer and stuff, sure, I think I'd put it at the bottom of B tier. But even though genuinely it's not, it's like actually, I think, not as good as these items.
Yeah, it's fun to use. Okay, so
Temporal Rush.
I think, yeah. So Temporal Rush is like your default roll, but with way more range and way faster. It gives low health for an ability. Its cooldown is 10.8, which is pretty fast. It does damage if you pass through people, and its range is 6.4. So it has the lowest range of any movement ability. But you travel so fast. So technically, you still can get hit while you're moving, like leap attack, and you can't go over certain structures like you can with leap attack. But it's assassin banner as well, so like you're gonna get increased damage from that as well. So like Yeah, it's just really good. Low cooldown, high range, or relatively high range if you roll and then use it. Yeah, it's just really, really insane.
Mines, volatile mines.
So, pretty, again, kind of a funny ability. I wouldn't put it in A tier. No. Yeah, I think that's probably good, because, I don't know, they're so weird. I've always said this, volatile mines are just such a weird ability to have in a game like this, because, like, if you put them in bushes, you can... Wait, did they make them so they're overlaid from bushes? I can't remember. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they still show up behind bushes, so you can't see them. And you just, like, walk into them and you can die. But the rest of the time, they're not doing anything. Like, it feels like there's not a lot of skill to using them. I don't know. They're just weird.
Put them in B tier. Because they're actually quite good.
They actually are quite good for, like, if someone's chasing... Like, if a Primal's chasing you, bro.
I don't even think that. I think the reason they're B tier is because they're actually one of the best items in Slayer.
Their infusion track is insane. They have Tinkerer and Double Down.
I just mean in Slayer in general, they're super good. Because they're just going to randomly get you kills, even against good players. They can help you control parts of the map. The bigger the game mode you're playing... In Capture the Flag, they're great. In Slayer, they're great.
In Hydra, they're really
In Hydra, they're great. And then once you get to the bigger game modes, Core Rush Eventide, they're not as good. And they start to feel a little useless. But they're really great. They'll just kill people. They do crazy damage.
They have 3 charges. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mines are really good. They're what they say on the box.
Okay, so Blink Strike. This is like the normal Blink ability, but it's Assassin. It deals damage when you land. It has a higher cooldown, and I think, yeah, that's it. And way less range.
Blink Strike is pretty simple. You're taking Blink and you're trading off cooldown, and I think even a little bit of range.
A lot. Okay. Blink has 8.4, and Blink Strike has 7.2.
Yeah, so you're trading off a little bit of cooldown, a little bit of range for a little bit of damage when you land. The issue you run into is it's pretty hard to actually land on top of people, and so the loss... It's pretty hard to land on top of people, but on a head-to-head, it still compares pretty well to Blink, kind of. But then when Temporal Rush exists, basically, if you want to be kind of using an ability to reposition, Blink is better, right? Going in or getting away. And then if you want to be using ability to dive in, Temporal Rush is better, because it's going to be more consistent damage.
Even for getting away.
Yeah, it's going to be just as good at getting away, yeah. But it's kind of awkward ability, it's hard to land.
The thing is, when you're choosing an assassin ability to use, Temporal Rush is always going to be the better option in the majority of cases.
Yeah, basically. Temporal Rush you can use in even non-assassin build, but Blink is great too. I would say damage.
I think it's probably A.
It's a lot more potent than the healing totem in terms of helping your team in a significant way while they're in it. Healing totem kind of feels like it's rooting you down, and like it's kind of annoying to have to stand in it to heal. When these abilities exist, the 2 other healing abilities, damage totem A, there's really nothing else that does what it does. For example, this isn't going to increase your heavy damage at all.
Or your team's damage.
But even for selfish reasons, this has 100% uptime compared to this. I'd actually put it like here.
I don't think it's not quite 100% if you're not using support, but the thing is, it also has a way better infusion track in my opinion than healing totem.
Healing totem's infusion track is good too.
Well, yeah, but it has all the good ones. There's effect radius, damage boost. Yeah, just effect radius.
It's a good item. It's going to get better at high investments. If you want to, there are a lot of builds where you can use it kind of selfishly and it's still good,
like
and
sniper
support
chain
your team. Yeah, I would never use it with a chain gun build, but it's not worth it because you want a chain gun build. You want to be tanky. You want to have a selfish item. But it's super good. It's super flexible. It's really the best damage increasing ability there is at the moment.
And it's Primalist, which is a good...
Primalist is a good banner.
Yeah.
Overall, it's just a really strong item.
Yeah. It increases... After the buff, it increases your damage by, I think, 30%. And
again, it's one of those items that gets better as you get into higher levels of play with better players and more players. So in a 1v1 at low level against someone with, like, leap attack, it's not going to be great. But once you have big fights with a bunch of Primals, it's going to buff your Primals, it buffs your team, it gives you a lot more damage. It's super strong. Super worth using.
Yeah. And it can stack.
You didn't end up putting anything in. You didn't want to adjust anything?
I don't think anything has to be an F tier because F tier is supposed to be like poo-poo.
Here, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's spread it out, okay?
Well, I don't think we have to necessarily spread it out.
But we could. I think it would be
okay.
Okay, so let's move this down. We can put this here. I think that's better.
Okay, that's probably better.
We can put, in my opinion, this here, but
Well, yeah, I think that's
do,
probably
like,
good.
We can do like that. Because the issue with these abilities is, to me, even though they're okay, you never use them over this, so they're kind of irrelevant. Whereas these abilities at least have something like they going
The
for them.
only reason I ever use leap attack is for the Vanguard banner.
Right.
But besides that...
But like these abilities, even maybe they're as strong as this, if these didn't exist, they at least have something unique going for them. Yeah, Power Infusion can be top of B.
But just the S tier items that we have listed are just the most consistent, most impactful.
Yeah, 90% of players that are using kind of a build, you're going to see using these items, and then you're going to see a couple of people with these items. And that's kind of it as far as items you're going to see used in some of the top builds.
Really good builds, yeah.
Yeah, in top builds. These are perfectly usable, but to me, they're actually much less fun than these two items, just because they're like inferior versions.
I like using Stasis a lot.
Where Stasis is quite fun to use. I like using Harbinger, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, you can glitch it out in Eventide. They might have patched it.
Well, I think they patched that, but... and then of B tier items, they're all pretty solid, but
yeah,
they're gonna get.
But I honestly feel like this tier list is pretty. I'm pretty happy with this tier list.
Yeah, I think it's good.
None of the abilities are
that bad.
Besides perhaps Stasis and Harbinger, which is kind of hard to find value with.
They're not even poop like. Totally
no, they're not.
poop.
No, they're not totally poopy. They're
you can still
usable.
use them.
They're completely usable. Yeah. But like all the items here are completely good. But just if you want top pro builds. Most of them are gonna have either Catalytic Heal, Temporal Rush, or like Blink or Frost Bomb. Yeah, this feels good. I feel happy with this.
And maybe this should be higher, because it's great in some builds. It's always hard to balance because it's an item that's not very good in a lot of cases and then super good in others.
a lot of these.
But
items...
even in the best build using Power Infusion, I think it gets outclassed by these items. Just because it doesn't really give you any type of mobility or survivability or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So I think our next tier list will be Primals, because that was number 2. That was second in my Twitter poll. So that's probably what's gonna come out next for tier list wise. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this useful. I think I'll include a link to this tier list if you want to do your own. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Have a good doodah day.